Alrighty, folks. Good morning. Good morning, everybody in the chat. Welcome back to Adobe Live. I see Viola in the chat, and Michael, Sean, Philip, Mia, Ron, Andreas, Stephanie. It is so good to see you folks this morning. How are you guys feeling? You guys ready to get a little spooky? You guys ready to start designing some logos for a monster hunter? Are you guys ready? It's good to see you, Sam Peterson. What's up, Nick? What's up, Steve, my friend? Gus, hello. Ready for me? All right, awesome. I'm super excited. Logo. I thought we were making Legos. Well, you can make Legos if you want. Maybe we'll make a Lego because I am a huge connoisseur of Legos, and that is totally my thing. I've got a good feeling about this. General Kenobi with the Star Wars jokes, bright and early in the morning. I love it. I love it. If you are over on YouTube, folks, and you're wondering who I'm greeting, who I'm saying hello to, please come over to behance.net/live because that is where I am reading the chat and that is where all of the helpful links for today's class are going to be posted. And for those of you who don't know me, my name is Voodoo Val and I am going to be your instructor for this round of 2-week classes. I'm very excited for it because I always try to do these classes with a bit of a theme that you can follow along with if you like. And this week and next week, we are doing the Monster Hunter Challenge. Not to be confused with the video game. I realized that some people thought maybe I was talking about that. If you want it to be about that, that is fine. Go for that. But what I'm thinking in my head for the Monster Hunter Challenge is we're kind of designing some cool branding for a fictional person who is like a private investigator or a detective and a hunter of the paranormal. So somebody who goes out and seeks out werewolves and vampires and ghosts and all that good stuff for your October spooky season. It's good to see you, Ted. Thank you so much for coming in today. Murray, it's good to see you. Fairy, Harriet, Anna, Chris, Dorina. It's good to see all of you folks. What's up, Keith? Good to see everyone. All right, so I'm going to jump into how you folks can get involved with me for the challenge this morning right quick. If you go over to the challenge landing page, which is just behance.net/challenge/Photoshop, you will be taken to a page that looks a little something like this. So behance.net/challenge/Photoshop, you'll know that you are in the right place if it says October 26th through November 6th at the top. That is our current time frame. Also, you can only see part of my body right now, and I'm not sure how I feel about that. I know it's spooky season, but I do want you to see more than half of me. There we go. And if you scroll down here, you will see a little button where you can actually click and register for the challenges. Essentially, what that means is you click this button, you register, you get notifications every day when I'm going live and when the challenges are beginning. You can also get links down here to our Discord where you can jump in and share your entries that you have created. I'm actually going to be jumping in and looking at the covers that folks created yesterday because there are some really fabulous covers. Some of them made me laugh, some of them made me cry, some of them frightened me, and I am just loving what you folks are doing. We are also going to take a look at challenge number 1 that we did yesterday, which, as you can see if I scroll down here, was an inspirational mood board. Now, you'll notice I've said that this is like a Monster Hunter challenge, but none of these titles really seem very spooky. I want to make sure that I reiterate the fact that if you are not really a fan of the Monster Hunter theme, you do not need to go along with that theme. I just know that folks in chat really do enjoy a good theme for their challenges. It makes things a little more interesting, makes things a little spicy for early morning challenge in the middle of October or the end of October now. And so I like to add that. But if you just want to make an inspirational mood board for a personal project of yours, maybe you're in the middle of doing a client project and you need a little extra boost on kind of where to take it and what to do, you can follow along with these challenges, no problem. You do not need to have any spooky elements within them in order to be eligible for the challenge. It's totally fine. Dax, it's good to see you. Clarissa, RB, welcome into the chat. Welcome everyone. Hello, Frank. Hello, Christina. Thank you all for joining me this morning. Again, if you're over on YouTube, I know there's a lot of folks over on YouTube this morning. Please come in to the Behance chat, behance.net/live. Taja, I see you. Big fan of yours. You are wonderful. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. I'm a big fan of yours because you are here bright and early on a Wednesday morning for me, and I am loving it. So today, as you can see, we've got our challenge unlocked where we are going to be designing a logo. It says just create a logo using simple shapes and the pen tool, which I'm really pumped about. So I am going to jump over to the Discord and kind of show you folks what that's all about, and then we're going to dive into what we have planned for the challenge today. So if you head over to this little page right here, bit.ly/ps Discord, you want to make sure the P and the S are capitalized because if they are not capitalized, you may not be sent to the proper server. You want to go there, and it is actually going to bring you to this Discord server, which looks like this. So this is our Discord server. These are the mood boards that folks have been posting in the #current_challenge channel of the Discord, and they look awesome. I love what you folks do with these mood boards whenever we design one. You guys really take a lot of cool design liberties with some of the colors and things that you set up. Basically what we did was we went and chose some super cool inspiring images for our project. We chose some cool typefaces that we thought we might use, and then we also went and grabbed some color palettes that we could employ to kind of make this look even cooler. I really loved this one by Rohit Jaggi. Just finished this assignment super late, and I love the little baby in the corner that's kind of like, hey, sliding in here to the Discord to post my challenge. I love it. I think it's great, and I'm just going to kind of scroll in here because we've got some cool ones. We've got some really great images coming in, some really inspirational work coming through for this challenge, and I love being able to just kind of look at what you folks have put together for what you're going to be taking a peek at for the duration of this challenge. And I like to also kind of look at your projects that come out of these in the coming challenges, and then look back at your mood board and see how well you have kept to that mood board. So this is really cool. I just kind of want to like piece through here and give you folks a look-see at what everyone has created. I'm loving the dragons and the. Is this from Monster Hunter? I don't know if it's from Monster Hunter. These from Pam, but Pam, these are really cool. I'm loving the monsters. I'm loving the spooky eyes. I'm loving the forest scenes that you've got going in here. Really sets the mood. And you guys have just all overall done a pretty fabulous job. I've also found some really awesome fonts just looking at these that I love. So kudos to you folks for that. I like the element of Monster Hunter, of True Detective in here. I like the fantasy weapons and the creatures, and like this guy here that looks like he could totally be our detective. I love this here that looks like this detective guy kind of interviewing somebody who's got like a monster shadow, which really sets the tone. This one is really cool. That's from Matt, and that's just awesome. You guys are blowing it out of the water here, and I'm digging it. Diagonally in here with the fonts, kind of sharing cool fonts with everybody and sharing some really excellent color palettes. I dig it. So well done. We're gonna jump into kind of checking out how we can create a logo though, because I've got a couple ideas that I would like to try and some different tools I'd like to use for this. Muhammad, welcome in. It's good to see you. Sig, hello again, my friend. So many familiar faces. Yo, what's up, Panda? It's good to see you. Chad Rolfs is in the chat. Welcome in as well. And let's jump over to Photoshop, shall we? So I'm going to page this down. So I have prepared a starter file for you. In fact, I'm going to pull up, before we do this, I'm going to pull this up one last time. If you'd like to download the starter file I have prepared for you, all you have to do is hit the Get Started button here on challenge number 2 for October 28th, and it will allow you to download that. And then if you ever need to come back and watch any of these videos at any point in the past, you can also click the watch video button, because that will allow you to either come to the broadcast if the broadcast is still going on, or it will allow you to rewatch the archived video. So you can pause and stop and scrub back and forth and do whatever you need if you need a little extra help. But let's dive into it. So it just says create a logo using simple shapes and the pen tool. So I'm going to hide our info. I left a border on this just in case you want to use this shape, but I would like to kind of go into all the different shapes, simple shapes and things that we can use for this, because we have a lot of awesome shapes in the shape tool now. So if I bump over real quick, you can kind of see these. We've got a rectangle tool, we've got a rounded rectangle tool, an ellipse tool, a triangle tool, a polygon tool, a line tool, and a custom shape tool. So the first thing that I'm actually going to do is I'm going to design two things. I'm going to design kind of a detective-y logo, but I'm also going to design a logo as if I was making a logo for myself, because maybe I'm the detective. Maybe I hunt creatures in the night. Maybe I fight the big bad uglies, and I need to design something for myself. This is also an option for you folks if you want to design a personal persona that fights the paranormal. So I'm going to select my triangle tool. And one of the things that I have done in the past, as far as a personal logo for myself, though it was many, many years ago, was I liked to play with the idea of having two overlapping V's for Voodoo Val that I used triangles for. So if I drag a triangle out, I'm going to turn the stroke on to a black here, and then I'm going to actually turn the fill to 0. So there's no color being filled, which is just this box here with this red slash through it. I can click that. And I can make myself kind of a cool triangle here. Very easy. I spent a lot of time before this was a feature in Photoshop kind of finding transparent PNGs or vector images of basic shapes, and now I can really make them very quickly. And not only that, if I come over here and transform this, because I want to turn this upside down so it resembles a V, I can also grab this little pinpoint here, and I can drag this so that I can actually pull these shapes in. So if you want to make more of a rounded shape, you can. You can very, very easily resize this and kind of create a smoother triangle if that is what you're looking for, and it's very, very easy. For this personally, I'm going to go ahead and leave it as a kind of a pointy triangle. I'm going to turn it on its side. And I like to duplicate, so I'm just going to go Control J to duplicate this triangle. I'm going to Control T to free transform it, and I am going to flip horizontal and kind of drag this out like so. I really like this shape. I think it's kind of strange and occult with this kind of star shape that has like these elongated points. In my head, like I said, it's kind of like two V's for Voodoo Val, and it leaves me some kind of interesting room to put a strange shape or symbol in the center there, and I can do a lot of cool stuff with this. So I have this. I'm going to do some different iterations of this real quick. So I'm going to select all of these by just clicking one layer, holding shift and clicking the layer under it, and then I'm going to say Control G to group, and I'm going to Control T and transform that and just put that right up here. I like that. I might actually kind of scrunch this down like so, just to kind of make it a little bit wider. I think that actually looks pretty cool. It's less of a like a logo that tells you what my business does. You know, like looking at this, you wouldn't be like, oh, she fights monsters. That's totally what she does. But if I make a few of these, they kind of start to look maybe like some kind of occult watermark of sorts. So if I put another one down here, maybe we can get into the fonts that I have chosen. If I select T on my keyboard, I'm using the Mason Serif OT that I selected yesterday during our mood board creation. And I actually really like the O that is in the Mason Serif. So I'm going to actually turn this to a black, and I'm going to see if the caps version of this is a little different. Oh, here we go. Here we go. This is what I want right here. I really like that this O has this little dot in the center. So if I put that in there, it's very simple, but it kind of looks almost like an eye or maybe a moon of some sort. We can do it again if I duplicate. Let's see. I'm gonna group those together. with Control G, Control J to duplicate it, and I'm going to pull this down here, and then I'm going to actually select that O again, and I am going to select this kind of cool O, which I just think is so cool. It just makes everything look magical to have symbols like this. And if you're wondering, well, where are you actually getting those? What window is popping up to show you all of these different glyphs is what they're called. Well, if I come in and I open up, if I go Window and then go Glyphs, it will actually open up the Glyphs panel, which shows you all of the kind of extra external things that are included in your font. So some fonts, they only have like your standard A through Z, and they don't have caps. Some, as you can see, this one for Mason Serif, we have caps, which are just larger versions of our lowercase letters here. We've got a lot of symbols and things. We've got a lot of separate special characters and things like that. This is a pretty hefty font, which I did get from Adobe Fonts, by the way. So you can download this if you really like all the glyphs and things and maybe would like to use them. And what I can do, if I type something out, for example, I can type out voodoo vow. I've got caps on. Let me turn caps off. Voodoo vow. I can come in here and I can select, so like this D, and if I select it, it'll actually show me the D's when I hover over that. If I select the V, it'll show me all these different V's. I actually kind of like this one that has like these kind of turned V's here, which is kind of cool. So you can select that. If we go into the A's, you can see there's a bunch of different A's. That is actually really cool, this interesting A right here. In fact, I may actually duplicate this one more time. Let me make sure that I'm not duplicating too much here. Let me grab this right here. Here we go. So I am actually going to duplicate these, and I think, did it grab my other? No, it did not. That's all right. I'll just duplicate this and flip it over. Let's see, flip horizontal. There we go. We'll recreate this, and I'm going to grab this O, Control J, if I can. Here, I'll just type right there. I'm going to throw an A down, boom, and I am going to select this and just drag this right into the center here, make it a little bit bigger, and then I am going to hover over that, and I'm going to select one of these interesting A's, because that is just, it's weird, it's cool, it seems a little magical to me. Maybe if I turn it upside down so it's like a V for Val, and that looks kind of cool. So these are like, if you hired me to banish like some kind of like shrieking banshee from your family estate, you would probably get a business card or something from me with this like embossed on the front of the card, and then it just simply says like my name and maybe like a phrase to summon me, something mysterious and magical like that. I'm just like trying to be magically minded this morning and come up with some cool stuff. But another thing that we can do is we can use the pen tool and the shape tool to kind of create more of an icon. So since we are doing kind of a detective thing this morning, I'm going to group all these together just so that I have them all like so, and I am going to move this down so it's a little centered, and I'm going to come in here with my ellipse tool. So I'm going to grab my ellipse tool like so, and I'm going to drag this out like that. I am going to turn the fill off, and I am going to turn the stroke on. I'm going to get a black stroke there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to create like a little magnifying glass, I think would be pretty nifty for this. So if I want, I can do like one circle, and then I can kind of make the stem of that magnifying glass pop out. I could actually, if I wanted, duplicate this circle and make a smaller circle in here like this, and then I can also, if you want to do something more freeform, you can grab the pen tool. Maybe you're not making a magnifying glass. Maybe you are, let me grab the pen tool here. Maybe you are on a new layer, you're just adding, like, you're making your own cue. So I can come in here and I can just start kind of like adding some interesting shapes. You can move around what you have created if you hold down Control on your keyboard. If I hold Control and simply just tap a point, I can move that point only, which is cool. I can also come in here with Alt and I can start moving the arms of the pin that I have created there, and then I can turn that into a color. So maybe I'm adding like a little tail of a Q, maybe it's like a speech bubble for chatting. If you're not doing a Monster Hunter thing at all and you're just kind of creating some kind of cool icon for an app or what have you. But if I wanted to make this more of a magnifying glass, I would do it this way. So I'm going to put this up here. And then I'm going to duplicate that group and drag my little circle here. I'm going to hold Control and just click this little tail and see if I can select that there. I'm going to hide that tail. And then underneath here, underneath my, well, I guess it doesn't matter if it's underneath because it's pretty standard black and white here. I can grab another tool. Let's grab like my, well, we could do like a rectangle tool. I'm going to make a little stem like this, which I like, and I'm going to turn the fill off, and I'm going to turn the stroke on, and I'm going to make a teeny tiny little stem. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I don't want to use like a full-sized, full-fledged magnifying glass shape for this particular project. I think it looks cooler if there's just like a little tiny stem, because a logo, at least in my mind, should be something that doesn't have so many extra limbs and arms kind of sticking out from it. So if I make a tiny little magnifying glass thing here, I think that looks pretty good. I can even duplicate this and transform it, and then come up here and maybe I will make this a little bit smaller and kind of put a little stem right here. There we go. Make it even tinier, and kind of leave off of the stem shape, so it just has like a little connector, which I think looks pretty cool. And I can also come in here again, like I did with the triangles, and I can round some of these corners, which might make things look a little interesting. So when I select my group, I've got like this little tiny, it could, I mean, if I made the stem even shorter, it could seem like a monocle, but I kind of like it with the tiny handle. I might make it just slightly longer, just a tiny bit longer, like that. That looks pretty good to me. And then I am also, I'm going to bump it back just a little bit so that I can move my little tiny portion here down. Let's see, down and back out. All right. Another thing that you might want to do, how much time do I have? I have a few more minutes left. So another thing that you might want to do when it comes to kind of working with shapes and transforming all of these little pieces and trying to create a logo is when I'm working with small elements, unless I'm really zoomed in, sometimes the borders of my elements kind of bother me. And what I mean by that is if I, like right here, I can see my element pretty well. But when I zoom in here, zoom out so I can see everything all at once, if you're someone that likes to work a little bit zoomed out, that can be fairly distracting. So if I do Control H, that actually hides all of those guides. So even if I'm free transforming, if I'm moving stuff around, I can do Control H and I will still be selected on things. I will still be free transforming elements in my project, but I just can't see the border. So then I'm free to come in here, see it's still giving me all of the icons as I hover over various portions of my piece here. My cursor, it's still transforming to be able to kind of like rotate and do all this stuff because I'm still transforming it. It's just, you know, my view is not bogged down by little those little points on the corners and the border and whatnot. And I can do Control H again and it will all come back if I like, and I can hit enter and so on and so forth, and just kind of design without all of that in the way. So that is how I would kind of go about creating some simple icons. There are a lot of different ways that you can go about making icons in Photoshop. Some people use Illustrator or use Adobe XD. This is just a quick, one quick way that you can make logos in Photoshop. And I welcome all of you folks to post any other methods that you might have in the Discord, because that would be cool too. Can we choose which corners to round, or is it only all or none? No, you can totally round specific corners. So if I grab this and I make another shape for myself here, I can actually come down here in the appearance in the properties panel, and I can unlock this. So that they're not all locked together, and I can take one corner and I can put one corner on like a 200, and then just that one corner phases in. This is just a really awesome way to kind of start bringing the corners in if I want. And look, since it's unlocked, I can actually keep that aspect ratio to like create this nice rounded shape rather than build it from scratch with the pen tool. So that is how I would create a small logo. I hope you folks enjoyed this challenge. Unfortunately, I am totally out of time, but it has been a blast. Thank you very much, and I will see you tomorrow morning for another spooky challenge.